What's good, YouTube? Back again with another video. This is a follow-up to the video I did yesterday on Umar Johnson and the top 10 excuses Umar Johnson supporters give. In that video, I told you to comment below if you had any questions. Shout out to the brother, the real to real. I'm assuming that this is a gentleman. The real to real. He left about 12 questions that people want to know about Umar Johnson and FDMG. We're going to get into about at least 6 or 7 of them in this video, and probably the remaining 6 or so in a part 2 video. So let's get into it. The first question is, how come no one can verify all 6 degrees that Umar allegedly has? So Umar has made this claim multiple times that he has 6 degrees. I'm not totally sure if the brother has 6 degrees or not. One thing I do believe, though, I do believe he has a PhD. I believe he said he went to PCOM. That's a school in Philadelphia. Don't quote me, but I do believe the school is PCOM. Now, here is the discrepancy when it comes to this PhD in psychology with Umar Johnson. I don't believe Umar is a clinical psychologist, but I do believe he has graduated from PCOM and has a PhD in psychology. So let's break that down for people who may not understand. I'm going to give you an example so you can better understand the difference between the two. Okay, so I'm sure we're all familiar with the nursing occupation. We all probably know a nurse, either in our family, friends, or someone close to us. So you have a registered nurse, right? And you have 3 levels when it comes to obtaining a registered nurse. You have a diploma nurse, usually. That's like you go through like a hospital to do your schooling. That's diploma. You don't really see diploma programs that much. You have an associate program, which is usually like through a community college. And then you have the bachelor's, which is your 4 years, bachelor's of science in nursing. Like I said, all 3, once you complete the prescribed coursework and you graduate from your respective program, you are considered a graduate nurse. Not a registered nurse, but a graduate nurse. You're actually not a registered nurse until you pass your state boards, your NCLEX. That's what the state boards for becoming a registered nurse is called, your NCLEX. So you're not a registered nurse until you pass those state boards. Now, how does this tie in with Umar Johnson and his PhD in psychology? I believe Umar did complete his PhD in psychology, but he never sat for his state boards. So that does not make him a clinical psychologist, but that does make him have his PhD in psychology. I even pulled it up on Chat GPT, and I asked Chat GPT, if I graduate with a PhD in psychology, but I don't take my boards, what am I? I'm going to play the response from Chat GPT here now.
If you graduate with a PhD in psychology but don't take or pass your licensing boards, you'd be considered a doctoral graduate in psychology, but not a licensed psychologist. Without a license, you can't practice independently as a clinical psychologist, provide therapy, or use the title psychologist in a clinical context, as these activities typically require licensure. However, you could work in research, teaching, or other areas that don't require clinical licensure, such as 1. Academic roles, teaching psychology at a college or university, conducting research, or working in academic administration. 2. Consulting, providing expertise in psychology to businesses, government agencies, or organizations, often in areas like human resources, organizational psychology, or market research. 3. Non-clinical psychology roles, working in program evaluation, policy analysis, or community outreach within nonprofits, government agencies, or private organizations. So while you would have the title of doctor due to your PhD, to legally identify as a clinical psychologist or to practice, you'd need to be licensed.
There you have from ChatGPT. So I believe Umar has a doctoral graduate in psychology, but is not a licensed psychologist. I'm not sure about these other degrees that he touts. Like I said, that's probably all cap with Umar. But like I said, I do believe he does have a graduate degree in psychology, but he did not sit for his boards, and he's not a clinical psychologist. Okay, second question. If he has all these degrees and he's a psychologist, where does he work? Well, we already kind of debunked that one with the first question. He's not a clinical psychologist. Um, Allegedly, he was a school principal for some time. I think this actually is verified. He was a school principal. I remember someone dropping in my comments. I forget the name of the school, but it was very short lived. It was very short lived this time at that school. And again, Kumar is not a clinical psychologist. He just has his graduate PhD in psychology. Next question: does he have an office? Where does he see his patients? Again, like I said, he's not a clinical psychologist, so he doesn't see any patients. Like I said, he can, um, I guess he can give advice, but I mean, like pretty much what Umar can do. I think kind of you kind of see it in his coaching, those calls that he has on his live sometimes, where he had people call up and he can give you his opinion. But again, I don't. Umar is not a clinical licensed psychologist. Clearly, we all know Umar doesn't have an office. Umar doesn't have a home. Like I said, usually he does these makeshift live streams in his mama's the back room in his mama's house. Again, like I said, Umar doesn't have a house. Like I said, he lives a very unstable life. Essentially, he's a traveling preacher where he bounces from state to state, living in various motels and things of that nature. Um, Next question is, how many paint days does he plan on having? The school has been painted over and over while the building isn't even being used. Well, this is all a part of the long con. What Umar does, especially when he wants you to hit the PayPal, hit the Cash App, what he'll do is he'll spend a little money, whether he'll clean the school up, have a clean day, a paint day. He'll do something very miscellaneous that costs maybe a few $100 to make it seem like he's making progress in the school when he's actually isn't. That's all part of this. That's all part of the finesse, all part of the scam. Think about it. You spend $200-300 on some supplies to clean, or maybe $500-600-700 on some paint, and then you take in thousands of dollars from your supporters. You rally up your base and have them thinking that you're one step closer to opening the school. That's all part of the scam and the finesse. Why is he always asking for free labor? Umar is absolutely lazy and he's cheap. Again, he wants to hoard all the money for himself, even though he's collecting millions of dollars in this FDMG school scam. Um, he wants to keep it all for himself. Like I said, that's why he's always asking for free labor. Umar is always asking for his supporters to find locations and venues for him to speak at. Of course, the venue has to be free. He doesn't want to pay for anything. Like I said, he's a finesser. He wants to take from everyone but never give anything in return. Next question is, why does he know all about relationships but never been married? Good question. Again, like I said, Umar believes he has the questions. He believes he's some type of relationship guru. Um, when in fact he has two children, I believe by two different women. Never married either one of them. So it blows my mind that he thinks he's qualified to speak on relationships at all when he's never been married. By his own admission, he doesn't even have access to his children. He believed he was blocked and sabotaged by the children mothers. But yet you'll hear Umar in other interviews telling other black men that to never let the child's mother come in between you and the children. You should go to the court system and petition to get your child back. But yet Umar never took his own advice, and he's never played an active role in his own daughter's life, which is very sad. Um, Next question. We have, why hasn't Umar started a legitimate business other than saying hit the Cash App? Well, again, Umar is lazy. And you got to think about it. For the past 10 plus years, Umar Johnson hasn't had to work. He hasn't literally had a job. All he does is literally travel from state to state, giving the same speeches that he's been giving for 10 plus years now. I'm sure he makes money off the book sales. He'll probably sell his book and other products that he has there. He gets free travel, free airfare, free room and board, and I'm sure he collects some type of donation from the people that are there, and they give that to Umar at the end of the event. So again, like I said, Umar is very lazy. He doesn't want to work. He just wants people to literally hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal, and give the same old speeches. So he could. So that's essentially how he lives, off of donations from off the backs of his supporters. Next question. Does he have staff for the school already hired? He's going to be the principal, but what about teachers, nurses, maintenance, IT, and security? Again, according to Umar, he's collected thousands of resumes for this school over the course of the 10 plus years that he's been talking about FDMG going to open. We know he hasn't hired anybody. He probably hasn't looked at any resumes because there's going to be no school. And again, what funds is he going to be able to pay these maintenance, nurses, IT, secretaries with? There's not enough money. Let's just think about this logically. If he's struggling to just get the school open, how is he going to have enough money for operating costs? So, like I said, if these PayPal and Cash Apps and mail-in donations haven't been enough in 10 plus years to even get the school open, you'd be insane to think he's going to have enough money to actually sustain this school year in and year out. Again, it doesn't make any sense. Like I said, there's going to be no school. All this hiring staff and I have collected resumes is all smoke and mirrors for his supporters to think that the school is actually going to open. Again, I did a video not too long ago where Umar was asked by one of his supporters on live about his team, and he came up with a beautiful lie at the top of his head, and he told this young gentleman he had a hell of a STEM team. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So you really want us to believe you have a hell of a STEM team, but the school is nowhere near even close to being open. You don't even have a website. You gotta understand, this man doesn't even have a website for this school. You can't even look up the website to see the curriculum or anything. It's literally a scam and finesse. Like I said, this school is never going to open. This school is never going to open, and it's just all a part of the long con. Let's get into the next question. Well, we talked about why hasn't he started a legitimate business other than hit the Cash App. We talked about that. Oh, okay. We talked about these last two questions. And does he have a staff for the school already hired? I've already answered these two questions. Like I said, this school is never going to open. He's going to continue to scam his supporters until the end of time. And eventually, I believe either he's going to make an excuse of how he was sabotaged by the powers that be, or ultimately he's going to blame black folks for not allegedly giving him enough money to complete this school. If you had any other questions about Umar Johnson and FDMG, leave them in the comments below. Like I said, I will be making a part 2 to this video with the remaining 6 to 7 questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.